Hi everyone, it's Lisa and welcome to my kitchen. This is a Proverbs home and today I am inviting you into my kitchen. I am making a pumpkin pie today. My husband brought it up as we were coming home from work. We were talking about pumpkin pie and making it for an event that we're having at church. And he's like, oh honey, I would love to have one. So I knew, okay, let me surprise him and make one for him. So I'm going to make a pumpkin pie that we can enjoy tonight with some coffee. So I hope everybody is doing great today. I am doing okay. I went to work. I'm a little tired today. I've been a little drained. So this is actually going to relax me to be able to make this pumpkin pie and enjoy it. This is the one that you have to add all the ingredients to. You know, I was looking at this pumpkin pie and I'm thinking pumpkin pie is like a marriage. It comes with all different kind of ingredients for those of you who are married. Here I have the Cool Whip. And I'm making pepper steak tonight. It's going to be an easy dinner. I've had this pepper steak inside of my freezer. I have the Cool Whip for the pumpkin pie. I think I'm going to message my husband and ask him if he can go on ahead and get another Cool Whip because there's not enough. He loves to have Cool Whip on his pumpkin pie, and so do I. Proverbs 31. It tells me what kind of wife I need to be. Does it tell me I need to be a lazy wife or a wife that just doesn't want to ever do anything? If my husband asks me to do something, I don't want to do it. No, it tells me to be a peaceful wife. Am I perfect at this? Oh, of course not. I am not perfect at it. It takes work. It takes love. It takes unselfishness, right? That means giving up what we want to do to love someone else. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't ever, do anything that we want to do, that we have to be a walking mat. Sometimes, in these days, the new generation, they think when we say help me, that we're talking about being a walking mat. I love making this pumpkin pie for my husband, that when he walks in the house, he puts a smile on his face and the house smells like autumn. It's just really nice. How do you feel about that? Are you a helpmate to your husband? Or do we argue and do we fight with them? Or do we magnify things all the time? The most simplest things, do we magnify them? I have to use this magnifying glass. I'm looking at the cans and I'm looking at the ingredients. I have to use it because, yes, I could have my glasses here in the kitchen, but I always forget them. So I have that magnifying glass because sometimes the prints on the can are so small. But sometimes we magnify things in our marriage and we just take things and blow them out of proportion. I know I've been guilty of that. Take things the wrong way. We don't say thank you. There was a time that my husband would make the bed. And, I like my bed made a certain way. I like the pillows to be fluffed and my little fluffy dolls to be on the bed. And my husband would make the bed and I would say, oh, but you didn't put the pillow on right. Or let me fix this or let me do that. Then God taught me that's wrong. Sometimes we just need to say thank you. This doesn't just go for our husbands. This goes for anyone that does something for us. Sometimes what we do is we complain. We complain about what they do for us or because it's not the way we would do it, because we're so controlling as women sometimes. We like to pretend we're not, but sometimes we can be very controlling with our husbands, even sometimes with our children. Yes, children, they need to be led the right way. I truly believe that. They need to be led in Christ. But even they sometimes, they have thoughts. They have things they want to express and talk to us about. And I think that's important that we take that time to listen. Sometimes I'm so busy talking and telling my husband what I think is good for us and the way I want it, that I miss out on the little intricate things that he wants to share. Some things may not be as exciting to us. Maybe if he buys a new tool, or one of the guys says something interesting to him at work or at church, or we kind of blow it off a little bit, right? Sometimes we need to stop and listen because that is part of love and that is what God has called us to do. Are you like that? Do you talk so much, even when you're around other people, that you never let them get a word in and you cut them off all the time? I've been in situations like that are not too pleasant. They're not too pleasant. If I'm talking to someone and they don't let me get a word in and they're constantly interrupting, I have been in those situations and it can be very frustrating. So, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. I think He gave us 2 ears so we can listen better. And we need to share that with our husbands. Listen in a more productive way. Should they listen to us if you're a man out there? Yes, you should listen to your wives too. I think it goes both ways. I think great communication is so important. It is an intricate ingredient in your marriage is to be able to have good communication. One time I was sitting at a doctor's office. There was a lady sitting next to her husband, and the whole time all she did was put him down. I was listening to their conversation because she was talking loud enough. And the whole time she put him down. And I thought to myself, oh Lord, I hope I'm not like that. I hope I'm not critical. I hope that I'm a good listener. And I hope I treat others like that too, where I listen and I show the love of God. I listen to their pain, their hurt, what they're going through. Many people say that marriage is 50-50. I say marriage is 130. I say marriage is 50-60. I say marriage is 50-10. Why do I say that? Just hear me out 1 second. Because there's times your mate may be sick. They may not be feeling well. They may be having a hard day. And they may not be able to give that 100 that day. You might have to pick up some of the slack. You might have to pick up some of the housework. I know women that have had to go to work because their husbands are bedridden and they're sick. And I know men who have had to do that too. I remember when I lived in Florida, there was a lady who had cancer, and I can talk about this because she passed away. And she was married and so in love with her husband, and he left her. When she got sick, he walked out on her. Now, I don't know if he just couldn't handle it. He was too afraid. But I pray that I never put my husband in the hot seat. Like I'm putting this pie right now in the oven. I put it on the wrong rack. I should have put it on the middle rack instead of the top. So that's what I'm doing. Trying to get it right. So let's make sure that we don't always put our spouse in the hot seat. That we're always questioning them, berating them, putting them down. They have importance to God. And like I said, this is something that's not easy, that we all need to learn. And we can, with time. We can get better. Our husbands can get better. God says if you are married to an unbeliever, does He say to put them down and tell them they're no good? No. He says, with your character and the way you live your life as a Christian woman, you can be a great example to that husband when one day he may come to the Lord. I've heard many stories like that. Here I'm actually going to be cutting up some onion because I'm making pepper steak. So I'm cutting up this last pepper that I have. I need to pick up some more peppers. And I have these onions. They're so good. They're actually from a farm. And sometimes the farmers here, they put out their produce and they sell it. So when I see that there's a produce stand, it's got some fresh onions and garlic. Oh, I love to pick it up because it's very inexpensive. Next year, I'm hoping that in my garden, I'll have onions and I'll have garlic. That's what I'm hoping for. Now back to what I was saying. We need to love. And I can imagine what that lady felt when her husband left. Let me go on ahead and check my pumpkin. That beep that you heard, that's my pumpkin pie. I put 5 more minutes on it to make sure that it's cooked straight through. So the importance of loving someone and never giving up on them even when they're sick. My husband and I, we've been through losing people together. We've been through sickness together. We've been through a lot together. I don't share everything on social media because it's really private, and I love to respect the privacy of my loved ones. But we've been through things in our life. God's love has kept us strong. I thank God so much that He has been there for us. I've had to grow up a lot. I realize that sharing space is so important. and it shows love. And God taught me how to love. He taught me how to be kind. Loving your spouse, no matter what you go through. You're not always going to agree. Disagreements happen. They do. When you don't agree or they see something one way, you see it the other way. But if you take time out to listen, God will bring you very far in your marriage. If you put God first and you focus on Him. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. And I hope I just gave some words of encouragement if you're married or thinking about getting married. And I hope you enjoy your dinner. This is our pepper steak. May God bless you, and I'll talk to everyone in the next video.